Good.
What's going on, guys? Cat Burglar here, ready for episode 5 of BS Bettors. Um, if you're looking for a place to play for free to bet on sports, you know the drill, sportsplays.com, sensports.com, and streakforthecash.com. All those three places are up and ready and raring and ready to take your bets. So, again, if you're looking for a free place to play, check out one of those three spots. If you're looking to bet for real, we'll have some links below in the description that have some great exclusive bonuses to BS bettors. So, again, if you're looking for a sports book to bet for real, check out one of those links. In today's podcast here, we're going to go into the NFC West. And I'm just going to give a rundown real quick and then kind of go around the board here. It looks like Buffalo is the favorite to win the division at plus 180. Their win total's 10.5. The Jets are anywhere from plus 180 to plus, I think I've seen 200, and their win total's 9.5. Miami plus 220, 9.5 for wins. And then the Pats plus 2,800, 5.5 wins. As I kind of look at this, and I know this is going to differ a little bit from talking with Caden earlier. I just think Buffalo at 10.5 is way overrated, and here's why. And I think I said the NFC West, but I meant the AFC. Sorry.
East.
Or East. My bad. East. They're playing the NFC West. So sorry for the fuck up. But so basically I look at Buffalo at 10.5 and that they're playing the NFC West. So you got Seattle, the Rams, San Francisco, all those teams. That's going to be tough. And then this division's pretty tough, except maybe for the Pats. So they're going to beat up on each other. I think getting to 10.5 wins for Buffalo is going to be tough. Jets at 9.5. I don't know. It's hard to know with them how good Rodgers is going to be. Miami is going to be really good. They could easily win the division. And then the Pats, I don't know. They're how well they're going to do. So I guess I'll go to you first, Sal. What are you thinking in this division?
Yeah, I'll start at the bottom. Patriots, I don't think they'll get over their total of 4.5. They're going to go 0-6 in the division. Tough schedule. I'm not sure who's going to be their quarterback, if it's going to be Zappy or Jacoby or their first round pick. I think they're a disaster, but they're on the right track. They'll be getting a couple years, like the coach. Miami, that's really close. That's really tough in this division. Like you said, they're going to beat up on each other. The one bet I do like, I like the Jets to go over 9.5 slightly. I think they maybe get to 11 wins. I definitely think they get to 10, though.
Hitman, what are you thinking?
All right. I'm going to start from the bottom as well. And I agree with all you guys. I think the Patriots they're obviously rebuilding. So they're in a major rebuild. New coach, two new quarterbacks. They got probably a top 10 defense, but other than that, they're pretty much junk. So I think they'll be the basement dwellers. What, they win 4 games last year? I think maybe they win 3 games this year. Next in line, I kind of agree with you, Cat Burglar. The Bills, I'm not sure what they're going to be like this year. I know they've won it the last 4 seasons, but, last year they won 7 of their last 9 games, and 2 games they lost by 3 points. That was one of them was the Chiefs in the playoffs, which, they were playing really strong at the end. But this year, in weeks 9 through 15, they're going to face only just one team that didn't reach the postseason last year. So that's going to be a really tough schedule late in the season. And that one game that they're going to play that team wasn't in the postseason would be Indy at Indy in week 11. So it's Bills are going to have a tough one, I think. So I'm down to Miami and Jets, and I got to go with the Jets. And I actually think both Miami and the Jets, I both see them at plus 10 wins. I think they're both going to win 11 games, and it's going to be really interesting with them as well because they got 2 games late in the season against each other, which is going to be really interesting. They play week 14. It's Jets at Miami. That's on December 8th. But then last game of the season, week 18, Miami has to come to New York to play on January 5th. So to me, I think that could help, see what the division does from there. But I'm going with the Jets.
Miami goes to the Jets on January 5th. Is that what you
Yep,
said?
January 5th, week
That's the
18.
last game of the year. That to me
Yep.
is going to be a tough spot, especially if it's really cold,
And
which I
that's what the
imagine it will be for them. And there could be a lot on the line, the division, a playoff bid, and a wild card, anything. So that makes that game really interesting. Caden, what are
yeah.
you thinking on this division?
I'm kind of going with Bert's stance. I think I love the Bills under 10.5. The Bills have lost a lot this year. Obviously the big one is Stephon Diggs going to Houston. But they lost Gabe Davis as well, who was a really good maybe wide receiver 2 or wide receiver 3, depending on the team. But the defense, particularly like the back end, really lost. I mean, they lost Micah Hyde, was former Packer, but a veteran that really was good getting to the ball. Jordan Poyer, who actually went to the Dolphins, he's good, and Tre'Davious White. They lost all three of those guys in the secondary. And in this division, going up against Rodgers, who's a gunslinger that can throw it anywhere at any time, the Dolphins having the quick wide receivers that they do have, and the Patriots, I don't like them winning over 4.5, but they could be right there. 4.5 wins is not a lot. And then I do also agree that the Jets are going to go over. They just need to stay healthy. I think that's a big thing. They added 3 new offensive linemen in the offseason, and Mike Williams, who's a veteran wide receiver who's big, can kind of go over the top. And with Aaron Rodgers back there, I think he can get the ball to anybody.
Good take. Good take. I think the thing that sets a little bit the Jets apart from all these teams, obviously, like the Hitman said, the Pats got a good defense, but they're not going to win the division, is the Jets defense is really good. They can win a 13-10 game, 13-7 game. I'm not sure Miami and Buffalo win those types of games. So I think the Jets have a leg up really to win this division. To me, if I'm betting anything, I'm betting Buffalo because I'm getting a good number at under 10.5. So to me, that's really, I'm not sure I'm laying 180 to win 100 on the Jets over 9.5. Or I'm not sure what the odds are exactly on the 9.5. They're 180 on the division.
They're minus 115 for over under.
They are?
Yep.
That seems about right. I'd probably lay that. On the division, it's hard though. Well, I guess at plus 180, you're laying 100 to win 180 on the Jets. If I had to pick the division, I'd probably go with the Jets.
Yep, agreed.
And when you're talking about the division and you have 3 teams that are at, above 9.5 wins, you got the Bills at 10.5 and both the Jets and Dolphins at 9.5. There's only so many wins to go around. I mean, that's the reason why I picked the Dolphins and the Jets, because I think that the Bills are going to really underperform. And I think the Patriots, like Bert said, are really rebuilding and they don't got a lot going for them. I mean, whether it's Drake May, Brissett, who's the other guy that's playing well?
Zappy.
No, not Zappy. The guy that they drafted. They drafted 2.
May?
No, the other guy who's beating May out. I can't think of his name.
Joe Milton.
Yup, Joe Milton.
Yeah.
They've been saying that he's been beating Drake May out for that spot so far. Now a lot can change by then, but when you're that up in the air with, your captain of your team, the guy that's running the offense, you're not going to be great.
Right, right. Okay. So I guess we're kind of all in agreement for the most part on the Jets. My only thing here is I'm just looking at something. Miami to win the division at plus 220. There is, I guess, a little bit of value there. they have a ton of speed and they can score. They do present a lot of problems for a lot of teams with their speed on the outside. Obviously, Tua signed that contract. He's under kind of contract for a while. But with the speed that they have and the explosiveness on offense, I'm not sure you can count them out to win the division either. So, again, I'm going with the Jets, but there is some value there with Miami. All right. So, what were our records last week, Caden, and for the preseason picks?
Well, not great, guys. We really gotta step it up. Let's start with Bert. He lost the Lions plus 3.5, ATL minus 1.5. He lost Washington minus 3. He lost, and Colts money line also lost. So Bert is 0-4. The only one that came out ahead this week was Sal. He went 1-0. He had first half Houston. Pick 'em. Caden, myself, I had the 49ers plus 4. They took an L, and then Cat Burglar went 1-1. He
You
lost
pushed on
to
that, Caden.
ATL minus 2.5, and then he did win his money line Titans.
You pushed on if you had if you had San Francisco, you pushed because it was 17-13, I think, wasn't it?
I think you're wrong.
I'm not sure. I think it was a 4-point spread, and that's what it ended up being.
4.5. 4.5 is what when we had the podcast, it was 4.5.
Okay.
So
Gotcha.
I would have pushed if I would have had it at game time, but according to our last podcast, I lost.
Like we talked about last time, guys, obviously the preseason's kind of a crapshoot. It's really tough to pick games. A team
Super
can
tough.
jump out right away, and then their backups come in, and the other team's backups are a lot better, or their third string's better than that team's third string. There's a lot that goes into it. Some coaches really put a lot into the preseason, other coaches don't. So I think it's really, really hard to predict the preseason. Sal, who do you got this week? Week 2, preseason.
All right, I'm going Thursday night. The Patriots and the Eagles. I'm taking the under 36.5. You're welcome, cronies.
I like that. I like that. Those unders have been hitting.
Some of them.
Hitman, what do you like?
All right. Well, first of all, it's the preseason. So, cronies, save your money. Go buy your sweetheart some flowers, maybe some chocolates. I don't know. But anyway, if you don't have a sweetheart and you want to waste your money, I got the Patriots on Thursday minus 2.5 over the Eagles. Reason being, I don't think the Patriots have a lot to lose this year, so I think they're going to be playing some of their better players further on into that game than the Eagles probably will. So that's my methodology behind that. But like I said, buy your sweetheart something nice. Later, cronies.
Caden, what are you thinking for this week?
I got 2. I got Denver minus 6.5 over the Packers. You're not going to see Jordan Love this week. And I think that backup, what's his name for the Packers?
Clifford?
Clifford. Like, he's named after a big red dog. Like, get that fucking guy off the team immediately. He kind of stinks. And then I like the Lions plus 6.5 over the Chiefs. 6.5's a lot, but you're starting to see that in week 2 of the preseason. A lot of bigger lines than week 1. So honestly, I have no faith in either one of these picks, to be very honest with you guys. Kind of like shot in the dark, but
Yeah.
I hope I can go, maybe 1-2, maybe 2-1 after this week.
Yeah, I think the goal is to get out of the preseason even or just a little bit ahead. It's really hard to be super successful in the preseason. It's a lot of luck. Things got to fall your way. All those types of things. I do like Denver as well. That line has moved quite a bit. Denver looked really, really good in week 1 of the preseason. Again, it is preseason.
Bo Nix looked really well.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah, they just looked really good. They put a lot of points on the board. I'm also going to go with the Vikings plus 1.5. Wasn't overly impressed with the Browns against the Packers. Um,
McCarthy looked good.
yeah.
Yep.
And I think the Vikings are going to, and I said this, I think the Vikings win total. I think I said this in our first one that we went over the NFC North. I think they're you know, really underrated because they got a lot of talent. Jones, Jefferson, they got a good tight end, other good wide receivers. If they can get the ball out to them and they can protect whatever quarterback they go with, it's looking like Darnold. But if they can protect, I think the Vikings could give the Packers, Detroit, Chicago trouble in games. I'm
For
not
that
saying
Denver game, are you
but
going spread or are you going money line?
I'm going spread plus 1.5 is what I got.
No, Denver.
I'm going spread. I just think Green Bay looked pretty good in their. I don't think they have a lot to play for. One of the things I look for in the preseason is like San Francisco, the Packers, some of these teams. They just want to get through it healthy. I'm not sure they're really. Obviously, they want to win, but I'm not sure they really care as much as like the Hitman was saying with New England. Maybe the preseason's their Super Bowl, so they're really trying to get wins. They're young. They need to have some success. They haven't had much success in the regular season for a few years now. So, bringing back that winning culture, even if it's preseason, it's got to start somewhere. So maybe for those types of teams, they're putting more emphasis, I guess I should say, on the preseason.
Agreed.
I guess on what was I gonna say? On the upcoming, I guess, season, what are you guys thinking? Like, as far as, you know, who you guys think are like the front runners for the Super Bowl, Sal?
Uh, you got to go Kansas City. Obviously, they're going for a three-peat.
Yeah.
And I like Cincinnati this year. Um, Baltimore is going to be there. San Francisco, Philadelphia, and the NFC are going to be there. Maybe Green Bay can get in that mix. Hopefully, Detroit's really good.
If you had to pick two teams right now, preseason, gun to your head, who are you taking?
Gun to my head,
Yep.
I would take the Chiefs, and I'm going to go with the Niners. Rematch. Last year's
Man,
Super
what are you
Bowl.
thinking?
Really going out on a limb.
Yeah. What do you think of that, man?
You guys are going to laugh at me, but I don't know. I do really like the Jets. I like the Jets' chances of getting there. And my reason it isn't Rodgers, but a big part of it is, yes, I mean, they had 7 wins last season without him, and I think with him, you at least get 4 or 5 more wins. But they got that number 1, number 2 defense.
Yeah.
I know they just, the person they traded for from the Eagles, even just today, looking like, he's going to hold out. They're trying to get a contract. Reddick. They're trying to get him under contract, but he won't come in unless they redo a contract for him, which that hurts a little bit. But
I thought he demanded a trade today.
yeah, he did. Yep, exactly. I mean, they both
Yeah.
couldn't come to any agreement, but the Jets said no way. They're just going to hang tight, and I mean, they got all the cards right now, so he really doesn't have much to do except sit out and
Yeah.
win millions of dollars. So, but anyway, so I like the Jets from the AFC, and I hate to say it, but I really like the Packers' chances this year. I don't know. It's all or nothing run for them, I think, or I shouldn't say all for nothing, but I think it's a pivotal run for them this year. And I don't know. Hopefully, they've shored up their defense, and they were very close last year. So
what's San Francisco doing with uh
Ayuk,
wide receiver? Yeah.
yeah, they were looking at trading him possibly today too, but they couldn't come to an agreement. I think a team offered them a second and third round pick and something else, and they wouldn't take it. So
I heard over the weekend that
well,
they were
It
back
was
to
the Browns.
yeah.
it
The
was
Browns offered 2 picks and Amari Cooper for Ayuk, and
he didn't want to play with them, right?
Yeah.
yeah, he denied he didn't want to be a Brown.
Right. Yeah.
So the rumors have been Patriots, Browns. Now that's off the board. Steelers, um, and I think that's pretty much it, or staying with the 49ers. If I'm him, if you're looking at those teams, man, just stay. Like, what are you doing? Like, isn't the main goal to win? And it's like none of those teams. I mean, the Browns are okay. They got the defense, and we don't really know what Deshaun Watson is anymore. But the 49ers are tough. I mean, they got
I
guys
like the
everywhere.
49ers, but if he doesn't play for them, that changes a lot.
Yeah, I agree.
No matter what they get in return for him, if he's not on the team, they're not going to get another player that's probably going to be as good as he is. And that changes everything. Now you're rolling coverage to Debo, and now you can bring another guy up in the box for CMC. You can double team Kittle. It changes. One of the things San Francisco has, they just have so many guys. You double one guy, then another guy's open. It's the same thing kind of with the Packers. They got so many guys. I don't know how you double anybody. So Caden, I guess, who are you thinking for the Super Bowl right now?
This one is kind of on a limb. I'm gonna admit that right away. I like the Rams versus Baltimore. I think Stafford is still really good. And when you give him a healthy Cooper Kupp and a rising star in Puka, I mean, who knows what that team can do? I mean, that alone, just those three, and a defense that's much improved. And then Baltimore, I mean, they were unstoppable in the regular season last year. Lamar just has to show up. And I think, he's grown as a passer, but if he can make another leap like he did last year, you could see them. And they got the defense to back it up.
I'm going Packers, Chiefs, Super Bowl. That's what I think. I just think Green Bay, if their defense and the coach can really step up and they're really buying into what he's selling, and maybe they can be a top 15, top 20 defense. I don't think that's asking too much for the talent they have on that side. Maybe better. But if they can be that, I just don't know how you match up with all their players. Obviously I hope they don't get any injuries, but Green Bay could afford two wide receivers potentially to be out and really not lose a beat. Same with the tight end. They could lose a tight end, and does it really change that much?
They
I'm
did
not
lose
sure.
a tight end last year, and
Well,
you're
yeah,
right,
I
it
mean,
didn't
so
change.
I just think Green Bay and the Chiefs, and I think Green Bay starts a streak right now. I think they beat the Chiefs and they start, kind of what the Chiefs are doing now. I'm hoping it's not another Chiefs San Francisco Super Bowl. Wouldn't that be like 3 and 4 years or something like that?
Something like that.
Yeah.
And a lot depends for the Chiefs in particular, is those wide receivers. I mean, Rice seems to be good, but he's getting in some legal problems or whatever. And then Hollywood Brown, he had the shoulder thing happen this week. They said it's not looking too great. Obviously, you still got Kelsey and obviously Mahomes, who's probably the best now. But yeah, I don't think that's a bad pick.
All right, my guys, any parting shots for these cronies out here? Any best bets other than what you gave? Any advice
I got
other than go with the Berg on his fucking fat cat picks of the week? And by fat, I mean PHAT. I like the Hitman's outfit. Everybody comment on the Hitman's outfit below. I like it. I like it. Sal, what's your outfit going to be like next week? Tell the
I
cronies.
fucking don't know. Who knows?
Let me guess.
I like it.
Brown shirt and a hat.
I like that. I like that. Everybody needs to get a prop.
Might have to.
All right, guys, let's wrap up this podcast. This is podcast number 5. Obviously, we got a couple more divisions to go into. Next couple weeks, and then we get into the real shit. I think 2 more weeks till college football. And then those lines will start coming out if they haven't came out already. I'm not sure on that, but the preseason's tough. Guys, don't bet a lot on these games. Hold your money for the regular season when you have a little bit more information. Like the Hitman says, get your girlfriend something, buy her some flowers, some treats. I'm out. Deuces, my friends.
Peace, man.
Later.
Later.